How weird? In recent years, I've heard the term Hollyweird to denote how strange and weird the world of entertainment is, specifically the movie industry that centres around Hollywood and the main players of how it appears. And from what I've been reading and wondering, the word weird doesn't quite cut it, but will suffice for now. The super weird subject of EGIs keeps popping up in the public arena, I've noticed, further to other gender discussions you'll find in A Strange Affair, A Slippery Slope, The Clothes Do Not Maketh the Man, and The Face of a Clown, A Masked Reality. But this one appears to be a growing can of worms, and as it keeps milling around in my mind, I'll give it form. If you aren't aware, there are rumours that there is an elite gender inversion programme afoot, hence the abbreviation EGI, meaning across the board in entertainment and other industries, people born as men have apparently been masquerading as women for decades. Now, it may well seem far-fetched and preposterous, and quite a stretch for the imagination to believe that all the people being touted as changelings are such a thing. So I will break it down into a few elements, as if you start to unpick the why of that project, then it does actually seem more plausible than it first appears. The other points of how and who can be factored in after the initial reasons of the why. If you wanted to encourage women to be at the forefront of certain things, or to strive for that, then who better to lead them but women? So suddenly prominent women are placed in corporate positions, in adverts, in politics, in media and so on, showing that society was progressive and inclusive finally. But wait, could it be that there was a twist after all? And in the overall disdain for women and need to hold them down, a bait and switch occurred. A manufactured standard of a woman was created, an unobtainable version to actual women, but one where they would try and attain and model themselves on, accepted by their male counterparts because there is something so very masculine about them. Now, just the conversation about it serves a double purpose. Firstly, it either means that we have been deceived and no women in fact have achieved any positions of wealth or power or importance and it's all been faked. Or, women have indeed had achievements to be proud of, but now that will be taken away because some people will think that they were in fact men. It's a win-win in the new world of misinformation and the lines being blurred between what we knew as fact and fiction. Back to the idea of it being all men, who have been tinkered with from a young age to be part of the characters of illusion and show women how they should be. And men now too are being pummeled with all sorts of similar tactics, beauty standards, how masculine you should be, your role in the household or in society, etc. As they always did. But now it has ramped up a bit for them too. And what are the psychological repercussions of having an unattainable standard to try and emulate? Could that help to facilitate internal confusion, eating disorders, depression, unrealistic expectations and thoughts? Possibly, as all that can come just from looking at what has been carefully crafted as beauty and perfection and been shoved down your throat as such, just from the feminine form. But if you factor in a general dislike of women and how much it would torment them to never be able to look like what apparently men fawn over, that seems like something psychopaths would do. Then have a double laugh over the fact that men who say they like women are actually getting turned on by men, and would play into this whole weird setup being exposed of sexual identity, gender reassignment and confusion that has been filtering its way into and through society and institutions for a few decades now. I watched a 1993 film the other day for the first time, and it made me chuckle. Last Action Hero. When the kid gets transported into the movie world, he makes a comment about how beautiful everyone is, and that's how he knows it's not the real world. Aside from the obvious meaning, he said it just after I had commented on how all the women in the scenes looked like men in drag. Extremely tall, big hands, heavy set makeup, and very mannish. So, it has been there for some time, in the form of entertainment, slowly changing our perceptions of things which we don't always even notice. And sometimes it really is easy to see that something isn't quite right. Or, another wild theory in all this is that they have been putting something in the water for a while now, possibly more than just the overwhelming amount of drugs and contraceptives making their way into the water supply, which in itself could have possibly caused a strange scenario where women are producing too much of the male hormones, and vice versa for men, who end up ingesting more female hormones than the human system can work around. So men become more feminised and women become masculinised, and as this would happen from conception onwards, could go some way to explain skeletal differences being pointed out as a marker to spot the EGIs. And it may well be that they are EGIs, but could also be a way to hide the changing of everyone bit by bit, because we are focusing on a few examples who are the extreme version. The film LA Confidential shows how long they have been tinkering with faces and bodies, to chop and change what is, to create what they would like. This might be the next phase, working towards that agender that seems to be on the cards. People being homogenised, all the differences being exposed so they can be merged. It's apparently across the board though, in movies, modelling, music, politics, and any area where people are iconised for just doing what many others can do, but they are picked out as special, and quite possibly have been bred for purpose and don't even know it, just like in the film The Island, where they didn't know and had the repeated phrase, "You are special," told to them, and "You want to go to the island." Seems even more creepy now once you link it to the Epstein Island, getting a fair amount of attention for being the hub of trafficking, Disney cruises stopping off there, and various other child-related and celebrity rumours. One big pie of weird, and just how weird remains to be seen.